On paper, your life probably looks great. You have money figured out. You got girls or a girl that's close to you. She's probably really beautiful as well. You have lots of beautiful women around you. And you have what most people would call success on paper. They look at your life from the outside and they go, wow, that dude's got it all figured out. But here's the thing. When you're by yourself late at night and you're really honest with yourself, you realize that it just feels empty or unfulfilling. And I want you to know, if this is what you're going through, you're not alone and you're not broken. You're just in the shift. I know because I went through it myself. In my late 20s, I was a world touring DJ and music producer, traveling around the world, getting paid to party. I was living my dream life as a rock star. I always wanted to be a rock star when I was a kid. And I had all of the markers of success on paper. Tons of women around me, success, fame. Like, I was living the lifestyle that everyone envied. But deep down, late at night, when I was by myself, I started to realize I don't actually feel fulfilled. People would ask me, man, are you excited to play that show next weekend? You're playing like Dre's Rooftop in Las Vegas with Showtech. And I was like, I feel like I should be excited about that. But for some reason I wasn't. And this was how my shift started to show up to me. Little cracks coming through of like, wait, why do I not care about this like I used to? So in this video, I'm actually going to share with you what the shift is, why it happens, and how to navigate it without losing everything that you worked so hard to build. Plus, I'll share a way with you to connect with men that are going through the same thing. So let's talk about this. What is the shift? What is this mystical thing I'm talking about? Well, it's pretty simple. The shift is this initiatory period between the ages of around 27 and 35 that every man will go through. And this is a period of time where the old life that you created that's based on achievement or proving yourself to anyone or anything outside of you starts to crack because it's built on falsehood. And I don't mean that what you created is actually false. What I mean is that if you built it from a place of trying to prove something, then no amount of external success or milestones that you hit will ever fill that hole. It's because it's coming from a place of trying to prove. And you can never have enough of what you don't really need. You don't actually need people's approval or validation. That's coming from an old wound inside of yourself that probably happened in childhood. And we don't need to get too into that in this moment, but just know that there's no amount of external validation that's ever going to fill that hole. What does true success feel like? Well, true success is actually based on doing things because it's just what lights you up, because it's who you are. It's because this is just how you want to express yourself and share your gifts with the world, and you actually don't need anyone or anything outside of you to tell you that you're enough in order to do that. It's true sovereignty, feeling, this is just who I am, baby. And that energy is externally magnetic, but internally, it's just the most fulfilling thing because it's sustainable. It's you connecting to your soul on a higher level and feeling filled by that energy. It looks like vitality, it looks like energy, it looks like joy. And as crazy as this might sound, no matter how much success you've already achieved in your life, the amount of success that you will actually attract when you're coming from that place is beyond what you've already created. Imagine that. You're already successful, you're a high performer, but there's even greater success waiting for you on the other side. But here's the thing, it's not just more money and more success, it's actually, you will feel more successful inside because your spiritual bank account will be just abundant. You'll be not only getting paid financially, but you'll be getting paid energetically. And that is the best way to get paid in this life because it's sustainable and it's abundant. So yeah, Saturn return, it's this initiatory period in every man's life that he gets to go through. And I actually like to call it spiritual puberty. It's when your soul is like now going through its transition into who you really are as a man underneath it all. And you'll know that you're going through it when you start to feel the cracks in your old identity. It might look like anxiety in the quiet moments. It might be manifesting as burnout, emptiness, or just a general feeling of disconnection. And if you're going through that right now, I want you to know that it's totally normal and you're not alone. You're just in the shift. And I wish that more men knew that this was something to expect in their life. Like, why are we not told that this is a natural part of evolving as a man? It's something you must go through. When we can realize that it's something to expect and that we're not crazy or alone, we can actually navigate it with so much more grace and support. That's the biggest thing. As high-performing men, as a high-performing man, you are so used to getting shit done and winning that when something like this shows up that you don't know what to do about, and it actually feels a bit shameful to admit that the success you have isn't actually fulfilling, or that the relationship you're in isn't actually the right one for you, whatever it is, it feels so scary to actually admit that a lot of times men will double down on what's not working. And will end up wasting years of life and years of just their peak years as a man feeling unfulfilled and doing more of what's not working. And that's like the greatest crime. I know for me, that's what I did. I knew that I needed to shift my career. I knew I needed to evolve out of my relationship at the time. But because I didn't have any awareness of how to communicate those things in a way that felt doable, and because I didn't have any external support or knew what I was going through was normal, I just avoided those conversations. And looking back on it now, that avoidance of those conversations ended up making everything way worse. It was way messier of a breakup. It was way messier of a ending of my DJ duo than I want to admit. And it's just because I avoided it. And here's the thing. When we avoid our truth and we try to stuff it down and just look the other way, we end up hurting people way more than we want to if we were to just have the courage to speak directly to it. Always. And this actually comes up for instance, I have a client. I can't name his name, but let's just call him Nick. Nick was in a 10-year relationship with a partner. It's a beautiful relationship. They were both very successful and very highly regarded, lots of status. He ended up calling me, landing on a plane, because he was having a panic attack. He's like, Rai, I don't know who else to talk to about this. I just feel like I'm about to see her. I haven't seen her in a few months because I've been traveling, and I don't know if I can just keep going on this way. Like, I feel so anxious. And when we dove into it and started talking about what he's actually feeling, that it just wasn't the right partnership for him before. He'd been feeling this for years, but unable to actually talk about it. And he had been trying to meet his needs in ways that weren't healthy. When we got to the very core of it, I was like, why haven't you just expressed this to her? And he said, I just feel like it would wreck her. I can't do that to her. I don't want to hurt her. And through these conversations, we ended up coming to a realization that his belief that he didn't want to hurt her, he was actually hurting her the most by not actually speaking directly to her. The thing he wanted to avoid was the thing he was actually doing. Way more. And when he realized that, it popped. He's like, oh, fuck. Shit, and you can't take it back. So at that point, it's like, how do you clean up where you are? How do you take actions that are going to be in alignment and just own where you're at? Now, for most of us that go through this period and have a tendency to avoid, that's what ends up happening. It is possible to navigate through it. The best time is now. And the best thing to have is support through this, to have the right frameworks of communication, the right tools to be able to communicate what you're feeling in a way that's not going to cause more harm than good. But I also want you to know that once you have those tools of communication and those frameworks, it doesn't have to get this messy anymore. Like if my client had known these tools and frameworks a year before that, he wouldn't have hurt her so much. He could have noticed he was feeling something when he felt it, leaned in and communicated in a powerful way, and given space for the relationship to evolve into a better version or to dissolve into something, to leave room for something even more aligned. And that's what's possible when you can really know your truth, speak your truth with love, and take actions that are in alignment with that truth. That is the holy grail of the philosophy here of live your truth. When you can do that, life becomes so much more smooth and beautiful. It's because you don't have to try so hard to hold things together. You don't have to try to like white knuckle an outcome and manipulate the situation to be what you think it should be. You just realize all you can do is know your truth, speak your truth with love, and act in alignment with that. The external world will always change and evolve as life does, but you will always be connected to the one thing you have control over and the one thing that really matters, which is your connection to your soul. And the right people will magnetize into your life, and the ones that are no longer a fit will naturally find their way out. And it's beautiful. You can be proud of the man that you're being. I look at my client, let's call him once again Nick. I look at him now and there is just an energy in his face when I see him in photos where he is so much more happy, present, alive, and just like, he just looks more loving. And it's because all those programs that were running inside of him of needing to hide or pretend or figure things out, those are just gone. And like a computer, those programs take up energy and CPU power. He now has more energy and vitality to channel into doing what he loves, being with people he cares about, and actually genuinely being there, being present. This is available to you. It's available to all of us. But first, we get to admit where we might be blocking that energy. So, if this feels like your life and where you are right now, I really want you to know this. You're not broken. It's totally normal to be where you are. In fact, it's to be expected. You're just in the shift. And I want you to know that there are so many men out there who are going through this right now, who probably you would have no idea. They're doing a really good job of pretending. And the more that you can realize that this is normal, and the more support you can have, the more gracefully you can navigate this period of your life. So if that's you and you want to go deeper, I have tons of tools and resources down here in the description below. Find the link. And until then, just remember, always live your truth.